what do you think the marketing team behind Space Jam's plan is?
I don't know anymore because the clips we've seen over the last couple of days have made me less excited for the movie than I think I've ever been. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just completely killed me. The first one we got was a Matrix parody starring the granny from Sylvester and Tweety. And then
I haven't actually seen that.
Have you not? Oh, that was not good.
Was that made for marketing, or was that in a film?
It's a clip from the film.
Right. So it's not. I should correct myself. It's not marketing that we should be questioning. It's the film
itself. Yes, it's the film itself, because the second one that was released yesterday contained Porky Pig, aka the notorious P.I.G., doing a little bit of a rap, and it made me lose all faith. But I think the marketing team as a marketing team is doing best of what they have. I think some of the posters they put out are really cool. The trailers are decently cut together, but releasing these clips, worst decisions they've ever made in their entire life.
Why the Matrix?
Well, I think what's going to happen.
What's culturally relevant right now?
All the Looney Tunes are stuck. Well, not stuck. Have left the Looney Tune world. I'd imagine, and they formed a team up to get them all back. They're going to have to go to different Warner Brothers movies. It's just going to be a cycle of going through all these Warner Brothers movies, basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find the Wizard of Oz, maybe a Harry Potter reference if they can clear it with JK. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything. It's going to be hellish. It's going to be. We don't have permission yet to go ahead with Ready Player 2. Let's make Space Jam.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe nostalgia can pull it through, but this is not a movie. This is just porn for people that love nostalgia. It just is that. You know what I mean? It's just unearned nostalgic nonsense. It's going to watch like Ready Player One reads, if you get me.
It was written by an AI.
Yeah, I'm convinced. And then what was it? Ryan Coogler was just like, "Yes, this will do." Text box. Like, I don't even know.
Oh my god!
What
Ryan
happened.
Coogler produced it. I wonder how he feels about it.
I don't know if it got away from him or what happened. I don't know what's going on with the guy, either the guy that directed it. It just doesn't seem like a good movie at all.
What's culturally relevant? The Matrix? Or
well, it will be in December.
We have a Matrix film coming out soon. Shall we remind people of it before it comes out? What did children hate?
We've not heard from that yet.
Yeah. What do children hate? Well, they like influencers, and influencers are always going on about the algorithm. So we'll make the algorithm the bad guy. What's an algorithm?
There you go. It's Don Cheadle. That's what it is. It's not just Don Cheadle. That's the algorithm.
Yeah. What's the quote from Fast 9 that's going around? Don't worry about the physics.
No, it's as long as we obey the laws of physics, we'll be absolutely fine. And that's what they say. One of the scenes. Oh, they're mid-flight up to space. That's what.
In the car.
Yeah.
Because I've seen things that's like, oh, who needs physics when you've got family? And it's like, that could be. I don't know if it is.
There's actually there's a good one of Vin pulling up against during the battle over Coruscant, and it's like, you need a little hand, Skywalker, and he's like, how the fuck are you here, Dom? And it's like, it doesn't matter as long as you have family. It's just, he'll fly away.
Oh,
it's brilliant.
Wait to finally watch all those films in 3 years or 2 years.
3 years time.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Four Eyes and the Giant podcast. My name is Jordi Steele, and I'm 6'5", and I'm joined as always by Cameron Howe.
I wear glasses. How are you, Jordi?
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, Cameron. Thank you for asking. I've had a busy day at work, and I came home to relax, and then I realized we have to do a podcast. So that's where I'm at now. I'm so tired. Which you are as well, I believe, because you are currently sleep deprived.
Well, yeah, I know. I woke up at like I woke up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning this morning, the worst thing had happened possible, where I'd left the light on and was fully clothed. I don't know if you've ever had that experience before, where so basically my brothers had gone in to brush their teeth to go to bed, and I was like, I'll just wait for them to go for that, and I'll just lie in my bed or watch something on TV, and randomly, I must have just fallen asleep because I spent the entire day at work, so I was quite tired, so I just fell asleep with a lamp on, fully clothed, in my work uniform, and I woke up again at 4:00 in the morning, and had to get into bed properly. What is your work uniform? It's just black jeans, a t-shirt, and a black hoodie.
All right. A black hoodie?
Well, only if it's cold.
All right, okay. So it's quite casual.
It's very casual. My boss wears full suit, though.
All right.
Yeah, so...
any reason for it, or just...
Just classy, I believe.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by the Kino Leaving.
We were featured in the email a couple of weeks.
So today's day of recording is the 2nd of July, but this podcast will come out on the 5th, and from the 5th to the 11th of July, here's what came out 10 years ago. Okay. So not many big releases that I could find, only 2 that people may have actually seen. On the 7th of July, we saw the release of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Oh my God, is that 10 years already?
Yeah.
Actually, to be fair, it feels like longer than 10 years. I don't know about you, but it feels like a long time ago. Yeah, I remember that day very well.
Which I don't know if I've mentioned before on the podcast, but I saw at the Man Chinese Theatre in Los Angeles.
Wow. I saw it at the Glasgow IMAX in the Science Centre before they did it up. And it was in 70mm. And it was great. And in 3D. It was very nice. Yeah.
Nice. I remember being very, very sick mentally and also physically after the film, because it was the first time where that was it. It had been with us throughout our entire childhood. I'm having a stroke.
It'd been with us for our entire childhood, and that was it. It was gone. It was completely finished.
Through our entire childhood up to that point, and it was done. And it was like, what's going to happen now? And I shouldn't have asked that because on the 8th of July,
they really dropped the ball.
On the 8th of July, we saw the release of the Oscar Award snubbed Kevin James led Zookeeper film.
Solid. A solid Kevin James comedy.
Never actually seen it.
You've never seen it? I watched it on a laptop in France, I think. You know?
It was available to watch on a plane. Didn't watch it.
Did you not? I watched it on a laptop in France in one of those, like, you know, those little trailers. It's not like a trailer, but you know those like caravans aren't actually caravans. Those big caravan parks in France. Instead of one of them, and I saw it on late at night on a small laptop in sub HD quality. That's all I remember.
So those are all the releases that we saw 10 years ago. This week. This week. Cameron, do you know what day it is?
It's the halfway day, Jordi.
It's the 2nd of July, which means we are officially halfway through the year of 2021. My God, it has gone by quite quickly.
Give me a top 5 of the years so far, really quickly. Just don't have to talk about them. Just give me top 5 off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, number 1, Nomadland. Other releases that were good. One Night in Miami. Was Soul this year or last year? Soul was
last year. I know mine.
Sound of Metal I loved. The Father I loved. Another Round I loved. What's yours?
I have Nomadland, The Father, Supernova, which is in cinemas now, Palm Springs, which finally got out of Amazon Prime, and In the Heights made it into the top 5, which
Wow.
I know, and I'm almost considering moving that down slightly. I think I need to rewatch it, but I came off that film really high. But other notable ones, I mean, Cruella was a big one for me, Fatherhood, Sound of Metal, Barb and Star, Go to Vista Del Mar. Oh, what a fucking
In the
movie.
Heights is currently 21 for me.
Really?
Yeah. Barb
Had
and
a great time with
Star,
it.
I loved it, but it's at 15.
That's fair.
But yeah, top 5 are
Yeah.
Palm Springs, One Night in Miami, The Father, Sound of Metal, and Nomadland.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that's the past, Jordi.
That's the
What
past.
What about the future? What's left
What
for
about-
us?
What have we got forward? What's coming out?
What's forward to look?
What's forward to look out coming? Well, of course, at the end of this month, this very month being July 2021, we see the release of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Shaping up to be one of my most anticipated of the year, easily. Sort of like I am riding high on this one. The trailers look incredible. It just, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I don't think it can be bad. And I've said this before. The last thing I said this about was Cyberpunk. So, God help me. So
in James Gunn we trust.
Yeah,
I feel like the man, he's on a roll. He's one of those people where it's like the films he produces aren't always the best. I haven't actually seen Super, but like Brightburn was okay, and the Belko Experiment was okay. But the films that I've seen that he has written and directed have been solid, and he puts all his heart into it. And I feel like he's done that again here. And I cannot wait to see John Cena as the Peacemaker, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, Margot Robbie again as Harley Quinn. Hopefully she'll be written well this time. Joel Kinnaman as, hopefully written well, Randall Flagg or Rick Flag.
Let's bring back Enchantress. Just make a direct sequel to Suicide Squad 2016.
Do you think there's going to be a reference at the beginning of where Enchantress is?
I think
She
they might
broke
make
up
it.
with me.
I actually know. I don't think it's even in James Gunn's kind of like way to almost make a snide. I think they'll just ignore it because I don't think they'll even make a snide remark about it once. If anything, they'll mention it in a not in a loving way, but just in a way like saying, "Oh, this happened." But I don't think we'll see like a funny joke about it or anything like that because he seems far too.
You don't think Amanda
Nice.
Waller will make a comment about, you got to do this to get back to your wife? And it's like, oh, they got married. Wife and kids. And it makes us feel bad when he dies. Do you have anything that's coming out in July?
Sorry, yeah, go on. It's anything that's coming out in July. Jungle Cruise is a big one for me.
Okay.
Because I'm obsessed with that ride at Disney parks. I like Dwayne Johnson. Emily Blunt's not bad. I think it's just gonna have a really fun adventure feel to it. And if as long as it has some punny times, like the ride, which I never get tired of. I've been on that ride like hundreds of times. I love it. I'm very excited for Jungle Cruise. I know you probably aren't, I'm guessing, by the look on your face.
I've never been on the ride.
You've never been on Jungle Cruise? How many times have you been to Orlando and never been on Jungle Cruise?
Countless times, never been on Jungle Cruise. Unless
Why?
I was a little bebe, but
I suppose it is different.
Never interested.
It was always a walk-on. It was always a walk-on for us.
We were too busy going on all the fun rides.
But we went on all the fun rides, but that's the autism card for you, I guess. We got to go on literally everything, so it was no issue for us. I rode it tons of times, and I love that ride. It's really funny. So I just hope if they capture that and they set up, if it is like a slight setup, because I know they mentioned they were going to do like the Disney Parks Disney Plus series about the thing of adventures, like the Guild of Adventures that's mentioned in Disney Park lore. If they set Jungle Cruise is secretly a backdoor to that, I would be very happy. So
Right.
It won't be, but it'd be really great. And then they have like a Disney Park cinematic universe, and I'd love it. I'd have it. I'd just make me very happy. That's all.
Lovely. Lovely. Moving over to August. There is a show coming out on, I guess, coming out on Hulu, I think, called Reservation Dogs, which is a show created by Taika Waititi, currently slated for August, and the series follows the life of
HBO. Is it the pirate
can't
one?
be HBO. No, it's the one that was announced at the Disney Investors Day, so it won't be HBO.
Yeah. Okay.
The series follows the lives of 4 native teenagers in rural Oklahoma as they spend their days committing crime and fighting it. So it's obviously by the name, it's a wee parody of Reservoir Dogs, but I think it's going to have that wee Taika Waititi directing children and writing children little spice. It's going to add a little spice. What are you looking forward to that's coming out in August?
In August, I mean, I know it'll probably be quite cringy, but Free Guy looks quite funny just in general. I could watch Ryan Reynolds do anything and laugh. So,
right.
Reminiscence looks interesting. The Hugh Jackman one that's like Inception light, I guess. Yeah. I don't know where that'll end up in the grand scheme of things, if that will actually be good or not, but it looks quite interesting. I don't know if you've seen the trailers or whatnot.
I've seen the trailers. It looks like if Leonardo DiCaprio from Inception was using like the Total Recall technology.
Yeah.
It's all about memories and are they real?
Other stuff in August, really quickly. Candyman's at the end of that month as well. All right. Finally, near the Costas Candyman. I know you're a big wuss, so you probably won't see it, but I'm.
Hey, I saw A Quiet Place in cinema.
Yes, you saw the aliens of the Alien franchise in that cinemas. Demonic, the new Neil Blomkamp one. Finally, after 5 years, he comes back, and it's getting released by Signature Entertainment. So you not get to see it in a cinema, but you can watch it on premium on demand. And then Our Ladies, which is basically just Derry Girls, but in Scotland, is finally coming out after a couple of years. So that's exciting, at least in my eyes.
Yes. We also have A24's The Green Knight, which Jordi's been looking forward to for.
Yes, I was leaving that one for you because I know you'd mentioned that. It looks interesting. It looks like it could be a fun time, that one.
Based on the wee story, or the wee, I guess it's a poem, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which was written by unknown. Nobody knows who wrote it.
I'm unfamiliar, but that sounds something.
Basically, Sir Gawain, who is the nephew of King Arthur, of the famous King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. One day there's a festival going on, and a man who is like, he's got like wooden armor comes up, and he comes to the king's court, and he's like, I dare any man to have to fight me, on the promise that I will return the blow, the exact same blow. So Sir Gawain, who wants to be a hero, wants to find his moment to be great, gets up and beheads the man. And then so the man stands up, puts his head back on, and is like, all right, find me in a year, and I'll behead you. So it's all about Sir Gawain proving himself to be a man and seeking out the Green Knight so that he can behead him and prove himself to be honorable. It's all about honor, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's an A24 fantasy film. It's going to be fantastic.
Can't go wrong.
But moving over to September.
It's my birthday month. I'll be 22. God.
Overrated.
Yeah. Great song, though.
Yeah. What's coming out in September, Cameron, that you're looking forward to?
I'll leave the ones you've got written down for you. I'm just looking through the list here. Gunpowder Milkshake, It comes out on my birthday, September 17th, which is looking to be a kind of interesting one.
Crap.
Which is sadly but crap. But it's getting a lot of people going, oh, it looks really cool. But I'm like, um, what else? Respect, Aretha Franklin one, I believe that is comes out in September.
Wait, so it's not called RESPCT?
Well, it could. I think it should be, but I believe it's just called Respect to most people. That's on the 10th. Annette, another one as well. The Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, isn't it? Is it Marion Cotillard? Isn't that one?
I don't know, but it's the French man.
Music,
yeah,
the weird one. French musical thing that looks like it could be a fun time. What else? Nothing else really standing out other than the big hitters that you'll mention in your little
Yeah, I grabbed them when I could.
One. Yeah, so go
first,
for it.
Obviously, we forgot to mention Black Widow's coming out next week. We'll go on about that later on in the show.
Who cares anymore? It's not like we've waited over a year for anything.
But then in September, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is coming out. And if you heard of like last week, we were very excited about it. Then we have No Time to Die.
Oh, yes. Big old one there.
Finally. James Bond. Will it be his last? Daniel Craig sure hopes it is. And then we have a double helping of adaptations of great sci-fi franchises. So we got the Dune film coming out, directed by Denis Villeneuve, based on the Frank Herbert novel, which is fantastic. And the film looks fantastic. And I cannot wait. And I want to see it on the biggest screen possible. And the fact that he can't be acknowledged for Directors Awards by the Directors Guild of America is a tragedy.
He might, though. HBO's not confirmed anything. Warner Bros. Not confirmed anything. They could do a limited opening in New York and Los Angeles before the week before, and that's 7 days exclusive in a cinema. So they could still fix it, and I think they will probably still fix it. I think they're probably pondering that.
And then Apple TV Plus is bringing us the first season of Foundation, which is based on the Isaac Asimov books, which is Isaac Asimov, one of the forefathers of sci-fi fiction. It's about the Galactic Empire and a psychohistorian, which is a obviously made up a job in which it's a science in which people study the history of societies and can therefore predict how societies will act in the future. And one of these psychohistorians predicts the downfall of the Galactic Empire, and that makes them, the Galactic Empire, be like, stop telling people that we're gonna fall, otherwise we're gonna fall, so we're gonna hunt you down and kill you. And then the psychohistorian, played by Jared Harris, basically he takes on a young ward and they travel the world to the edge of space to sort of set up the foundation, which will retain all the knowledge of humanity when the inevitable dark ages come.
That sounds something.
Yes. If you look at the trailer, you'll probably get interested. It's Star Wars.
Interject real quickly. We forgot to mention Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which comes out on September 15th. If you were winding down to finish that.
In October. No, are you actually? It can't be good.
It's Andy Serkis.
I know Mowgli.
Yeah, but Brie was all right.
It was Mowgli and Venom.
But I have more faith in it than I did for the first one, because the first one was marred by production issues. It had Ruben Fletcher not wanting to be there by the end of it, whereas Andy Serkis was there from the get-go. They've actually shaped the film and what they want it to be. It's not going to be this. They had a issue with doing the tone for the last one, so it was dark and humor. They didn't know what they wanted. They know what they're going for now. They can just shoot for it, and the shot is on target. If they miss, it's fucking odd. Sony's issue, but everything is lined up to be a decent film this time, I think.
I can't believe they decided to not give it an R rating halfway through post-production.
Yes.
Like, that's something you figure out before you begin writing the fucking film.
I just want to say something as also the Suicide Squad, 12A.
I don't know what that means.
The Suicide Squad is a 12A. It's 12.
Is that like
It's
what's
PG-13.
our highest? Oh, so it's not
Ours
like
is
18.
No, it's not a 15, which is what I thought it would get. The Suicide Squad is a 12 and not a 15.
But it's got
like
lots of blood
Deadpool or
and
the
gore.
Suicide Squad before it. I don't know what they've done. I don't know if that's just a trailer and things are getting mucked up. But on my Film Distributors Association list right here, it says 12A. So, yeah.
Well, that's worrying.
I hope they've not cut it, because I'll be gutted.
Yes. Moving on to October, there is a specific day in October, and that day is October 22nd, in which we will see the releases of such films as Dear Evan Hansen, the adaptation of the great Broadway musical that Cameron has not seen or listened to.
Neither of you.
But I've listened to. I meant to say listen to. We also have The French Dispatch coming out, which is Wes Anderson's new film. Finally, he's already starting on his next film.
Wait,
I want the
drowning
song
in
to
Wes
come
Anderson
out.
content. Yeah.
Can it just
It's
come
been a
out?
while. It's been a long time. On the 29th, we've got Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright fucking coming in to save the day. It's 29th, Jordi. Just tell you, to disappoint you. It's a week later. That's why I jumped in before you could say it, because
okay.
It's
so when I asked you before we started recording,
yeah, well, I hadn't checked that one. I didn't. I thought they're all jumped together. So it goes French Dispatch and Last Night in Soho, and I was like, shit, they're not the same day, because they're all just 22. It's like a sea of 22s, and then 29 is the last one on the list. And that's why I thought it was just all 22s. So that's, Edgar Wright looking fucking cool. Anya Taylor-Joy, I can't fucking wait for that one. It's gonna be Halloween's gonna be such a fucking time this year. I swear, it's gonna be so good. We're gonna have such a great time. Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
No, but I really want to. That's
the prequel. The Many Saints of Newark are coming out. It's coming out on the 22nd as well. So that's interesting. I doubt I'll watch that, but good to know it exists.
Yeah. Then in November, moving on to November, we have Eternals, another Marvel film. Can't wait, directed by Chloe Zhao. Oscar winner. Nomadland. Cannot wait. It cannot. There's no way it could be bad.
No. I mean, when you say it's shot like The Revenant, and Kevin Feige's like, why aren't you just CGI-ing a sun? It's going to be a good film.
Yeah.
They used the real sun.
Yeah. We also have the wee mini-series documentary of The Beatles Get Back. It's so long they had to split it into parts. I cannot wait.
That's what they should have done in Lord of the Rings. If they could re-edit Lord of the Rings into a TV series, I'd watch it.
Do you think they'll...
Wait a second.
Do you think they'll edit it all together in one cut and call it All Together Now?
Is that a song reference?
The Beatles song All Together Now. Holy shit, Cam.
Oops. Oops the daisy.
Get out!
One that's near and dear to my heart coming out this month, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Oh man. I mean, what is it? It's not, I forget his name. I love him.
Jason Reitman?
What's his name? Jason Reitman, that's it. The last time I saw him, Tully. Tully was incredible.
Yeah.
Tully was really good. And I'm really excited for Ghostbusters Afterlife. The squad is back. McKenna Grace is there. Paul Rudd is there. It's going to be... I know it can be bad. I'm not going to go as far to say it can't be bad. But I know I'll be crying little nerdy tears for the entire film, I think, because it's just so exciting. I love Ghostbusters. And I love I love Paul Rudd, and I just love the idea of this film. I think I'm very excited about it, just with anything to do with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Anything else you're excited for that month? I've got seen a couple here, but I want to see if you want to take the wheel on some of them.
I have The House of Gucci coming out. Ridley
Yes,
Scott's
yes.
other film, starring Adam Driver and Lady Gaga, and a bunch of other people.
The set photos look amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that one. Ridley Scott gets a lot of flack for his last couple of films. I mean, like Last Man. What was the last one he did? All the Money in the World. Was that the last one, or has he done one after that? Either way, the man doesn't sleep.
Can't remember. Yeah.
And some are hits, some are misses. But I mean, House of Gucci looks like it could be a great awards contender. So I can't see anything going on with that.
It's gonna be
Top Gun Maverick.
Gucci.
Sorry, it's gonna be Gucci. Top Gun Maverick though. That looks like it could be a lot of fun. I don't know how well versed you are in the first Top Gun. Never seen it. Never seen the first Top. No.
Never seen.
Tom Cruise flying actual planes, actual fighter jets. I mean, it's gonna look good on film. They filmed it with IMAX cameras or whatever. It sounds like it's gonna be a fun time. One that could go either way, Encanto. That's Disney Animation or Pixar?
That's Walt Disney. Yes.
Is that animation?
The Lin-Manuel Miranda one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Encanto. We don't know much about it other than magic, I believe. And finally, just end on a TV series. I quite look forward to The Shrink Next Door. And I was thinking to myself, and the first thing I said when I saw the trailer was, "Oh, Oscar material for bloody Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd there." And no, it's a fucking TV series. So I was like,
yeah,
shit. Yeah, I thought that looks really cool. And I can't wait to watch it. Apple TV knocking it out of the park with some great looking series.
Yeah, they've been doing a pretty good job. Yeah, can't wait to see serious Will Ferrell. So what was the last series? Have you seen
Everything Must Go?
Yeah, have you seen that?
Yeah, I think I have seen it a long time ago. I think I saw Everything Must Go. He was quite good in that, from what I remember. So good to see him doing serious roles. Oh, we're nearing the end of the year, which is quite crazy to think about.
December. Nightmare Alley, directed by Guillermo del Toro. We've seen nothing of it, and of course, COVID delayed production. But it's still slated to come out in December. I wouldn't be surprised if it was delayed.
Netflix? Who's doing it?
Guillermo del Toro. I don't know.
There's nothing on my list here for it to be coming out if it's a cinema release. So it must be Netflix. If not, then times are dead. We're all gonna cry. Other ones. I mean, you're not excited for Resident Evil. I doubt anyone's excited for Resident Evil. No. The King's Man. Finally.
Man, I don't know. I don't care.
Do you not care?
Searchlight.
Searchlight.
So it could be Disney Plus.
It could. It's not listed as a release yet.
Yeah.
Which is quite disappointing. Although Disney have 2 films in December, along with The Kingsman and West Side Story, the Steven Spielberg adaptation.
It's not. Yeah, because he is like, I'm not remaking the film. I'm adapting the stage play.
And you're remaking the film.
It looks very similar.
Yeah, he's remaking the film West Side Story. Clifford the Big Red Dog, anybody? That's about it, other than the big one. Oh no, I say there's the Untitled Matrix film, which we've seen nothing of yet.
Yes.
That's supposed to be coming out on the 22nd of December. But the big one on the 17th of December is Spider-Man No Way Home, which we've seen basically everything of at this point and know exactly what happens from start to finish. Did you see the toy leaks today?
I did.
All over my fucking feed. I can't even avoid them anymore. I mean, cool.
The Vulture stuff is supposedly based on Homecoming.
Okay.
So it's not spoiling him, although it's the end of a trilogy.
And he's in Morbius. It could go either way.
Or is he?
Was that just some kind of like weird lucid dream we all had together? Because I mean, I think apart from the ones online, like all the versions of the Morbius trailer that played in cinemas and stuff don't have him at the end. It's just the one that's
Oh
online.
right.
Yeah. So I don't
Imagine
know if
if
he
he's
still
not
exists.
playing Adrian Toombs.
Yeah,
Because
we all just
remember,
assumed.
because remember the president of Sony Pictures or whoever said it was said they cast Aaron Taylor Johnson as Craven, and he didn't know who Aaron Taylor Johnson was, so he clearly doesn't watch the Marvel films.
So maybe he's just gone his entire life going, I don't know who the fuck Michael Keaton is. Cast that old
Yeah,
man right there.
even though Spider-Man: Homecoming is a Sony film, but it's Sony, so you never know the lengths of stupidity they will go to.
Fucking
But
Sony.
but that's all the films that are coming out this year that have dates currently. There are a bunch of films coming out that we're looking forward to that are currently TBA, currently slated for 2021, probably will be delayed. But starting off with Netflix, who have a bunch of releases. Cameron, what are you looking forward to from Netflix?
Red Notice. I mean, it's Gal Gadot, Dwayne Johnson,
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yes, and supposedly Tom Cruise, maybe if we're
All
lucky.
right.
Yeah. So this is the most money Netflix has ever pumped into a movie before. It's somewhere like 300 million. It's ridiculous money.
All right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets a cinema release as well. They do some kind of deal with IMAX and all the exhibitors, and they show this in cinemas because there's a lot of money riding on this. But yeah, it just, I mean, from the way Dwayne Johnson speaks about it, it's gonna be fucking mental and over the top and just the biggest action movie you've ever seen in your entire life. He's selling it high. I'm gonna hold him to that high standard. So
It sounds
very
like
fucking good.
everything The Rock is in.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Also coming from Netflix, we have The Harder They Fall, which is a Western starring Jonathan Majors as Nat Love, who reassembles his former gang to seek revenge against the man who murdered his parents. The film also stars Idris Elba, Regina King, Zazie Beetz, Lakeith Stanfield, and Delroy Lindo. This is going to be a really good film, probably. I hope so. It's a great cast.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a great cast.
Also coming out, Tick, Tick,
Boom.
Boom. Directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda in his directorial debut. The film stars Andrew Garfield as an inspiring theatre composer who endures a midlife crisis as he approaches 30 and does not feel close to his dream. It's adapted from a Broadway show written by and loosely based on the life of the man who wrote Rent. I can't remember his name. There we go.
Yes, Andrew Garfield looking like a really cool man. I can't wait to see him sing and dance and have a fun time. It's gonna be so good. It surprised me that it was Lin. For some reason I always, despite the fact that he is semi genius level, I always like kind of doubt that he'll pull it off. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas like, so I'm like, I don't know if he'll manage this, but that trailer looked fucking incredible. So
Yeah.
get me to a cinema now. I want to see that on a big screen.
Then we have Don't Look Up, or maybe it's Before. Who knows? It's Adam McKay's next film, starring Leonard DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence as two low-level astronomers attempting via meteor to warn mankind about an asteroid that will destroy Earth.
Leonard DiCaprio, yeah.
Leonard DiCaprio.
I love him. Yeah, that sounds like it could be very vicey. And that's either a good thing or a bad thing,
As long as
depending on
it's
how you
better
feel
than
about
Vice.
Vice.
Yeah. We also have Escape from Spiderhead, which stars Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. It's written by Reese and Wernick, the duo behind the Zombieland and Deadpool films. It is about two convicts living in a near-future society who grapple with their pasts while trapped in a facility that conducts experiments on prisoners using emotion-altering drugs.
Miles Teller.
Haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, he's been checked out.
He was in
That could
that. Was it Nicholas Winding Refn or however you say
that
his
was
name?
the last thing I think I saw him in. Well, I say saw him. I watched like some of that and never then fell off the bus. He's in Top
Too
Gun
old
as
to
well. I
die
forgot to
young.
mention he's in Top Gun Maverick. Yeah.
Oh yes, he's Goose's son.
He is.
From Amazon, they currently have slated for 2021 two massive fantasy franchise series. We've got The Wheel of Time, which is less known than The Lord of the Rings, which is currently holding its cast and production crew hostage in New Zealand.
You will finish filming this series or you will die, by the word of Jeffrey Bezos. He's just there holding a gun to them before he flies off to space.
They're like, give us a script. He's like, improvise. Not currently, I might be wrong, because I'm always wrong sometimes. We also have The Tragedy of Macbeth, which is Joel Coen's film. He's not doing it with Ethan this time. And it stars Frances McDormand and Denzel Washington as Lady Macbeth and Macbeth. And it was shot in black and white and entirely on a soundstage.
Give Franny her third Oscar, please. I'm going to put money on it now.
Yeah. There's also The Northman, which is directed by Robert Eggers, the brilliant Robert Eggers, who did The Vivitch and The Lighthouse. Set at the turn of the 10th century in Iceland, it stars Alexander Skarsgård as the Nordic prince Amleth, who seeks revenge after his father is murdered. It also stars Nicole Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Bjork, Ralph Ineson, Ethan Hawke, and Willem Dafoe.
Ooh.
That's
How
all
accepting.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else to add to that other than I think the only one I had written down that I knew was coming out this year was Red Notice, so that's interesting. Yeah. Fantastic.
That's the end of that. Welcome to the weekly watch list. This is a segment we do every week where we talk about films that came out last week and films that come out this week. Cameron, did you see any films this week?
I just watched today. I watched Freaky. That came out today in the UK. Finally, after about 7 months of waiting, It finally came out. It's the new one from the guy who did Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2U. Vince Vaughn is a serial killer who switches body with average shy teenager played by Catherine Newton. You know, she wears all the baggy clothes and she's like, "Don't look at me. I'm not cool. I'm not cool. Mr. Schneebly, I'm not very cool." And then she puts on a leather jacket, and because she switches body with a fucking, it's full of those like stupid bloody like I went to a media studies class once sort of thing, where it's like this is this character, this is the sassy gay character, this is the strong friend. Do you know what I mean? They tick all the boxes for fucking cliche characters, and it's just I get it's supposed to be done with tongue in cheek, but it's just so blech. It's a fine film, but my god, it's quite trying. After it's not as bad as Happy Death Day 2U, but it's not as good as Happy Death Day, and it's just quite tiresome at times. I felt, yeah, it's not really funny, it's not really scary, it's just a bit of meh.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I watched bloody Fast and Furious again for my brother's birthday. Just as much fun. I had just as much a good time as I did the first time. So yeah, I like my Fast and Furious movies, Jordi, and you can see my full thoughts on the Fast and Furious 9 on 35-minute movies, the channel. We had a full review, me and Oasis, and it was a great time. Another film I did watch, not a new one, but I'm starting a little rewatch of my own when I can have time, because I'm obviously working quite a bit the next while. Trying to watch all the Indiana Jones movies and watch Raiders. I think for the first time all the way through, I think I've seen Raiders off and on. I don't think I've ever sat down to watch Raiders. It's always been on BBC One, or I've always watched bits and pieces. I don't think I've ever watched Raiders from start to finish, but I know the plot. Like, off the top of my head, I could recite the entire plot to you. I just know it very well. Other than the Lego games. But yeah, so that's it. Fucking brilliant. And the new 4K masters, they look incredible. It's a good looking movie. You should watch the Indiana Jones movies again. and maybe time for the new one coming out next year. But that's what I didn't watch much else this week. I didn't even watch any TV. So
Huh.
yeah.
I watch so much TV. I keep watching TV. It's great. I started watching Black Summer.
All right. Never heard it.
It is the Netflix, or no, it was a Canadian show. I love my Canadian shows. Schitt's Creek was also a Canadian show originally, but it was basically a Canadian channel's answer to Walking Dead, and it was like a zombie show, and then Netflix picked it up. It wasn't really talked about it, but then recently the season 2 trailer came out, and everyone's been talking about it, about either, oh, this looks really good, or, oh yeah, I loved the first season. So everyone's coming out the woodworks to support it. So I thought I'd watch the first season. Yeah, it's really good. It's almost like if Alfonso Cuarón directed a zombie film, because there are lots of one shots. There's the cinematographer loves his winners, and it's just done really well. And it's focusing on different people, and it plays with time and location, and like different stories intersect, and it's great so far. I'm on episode 7 out of 8, so it's a quite short season. But yeah, looking forward to the second season, which I think is already out.
Sounds good.
I also watched Saint Maud, which was added to Amazon Prime. I didn't find it that scary.
No, it's not one of those. It's not like a scare. I don't think it's a scary scare. I think there's one big jump scare, but I think it's just supposed to be kind of like atmospheric.
Yeah.
I guess one of those ones.
It's like
so
Suspiria
with lights off at night. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, one of those ones where it's just sort of just a feely one.
Eerie, yeah.
Creepy. Yeah.
I also watched. It came to Netflix. Yes, was it yesterday? Yeah. America: The Motion Picture, which is brought to you by the people that made Archer, which I loved. I did not love this show or this film, Cameron. After the death of his best friend Abraham Lincoln, George Washington seeks revenge against the Brits and the independence for his country.
Sounds shit, Jordi. I don't know why you had any faith.
It's really bad. So it's weird because it's basically, what if all these American leaders lived at the same time during the Battle of Independence? But it's weird because the film literally opens up with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It's like played off as some people are playing beer pong, and the winners decide that it should start with "We the People," and then they all die, and that's the opening of that film. And then it quickly becomes a Star Wars parody, because the main villain, who is King James, even though the king at the time was King George, if you've seen Hamilton, then you know.
I've not even bothered watching Hamilton.
He's very obviously like an emperor parody. Like, he speaks the same way, and he sits in a hovering chair, like an armchair. It's not funny. It's just not good. It's basically one of those films that Americans have made to talk about how bad America is. So there's loads of like gun control jokes and racism jokes and sexism jokes.
Oh.
And there's a Native American character who's basically every line is just like oh, well, white people stole my land. And it's not very well written. One of the main characters is Jason Mantzoukas doing his annoying Jason Mantzoukas voice.
Well, I don't want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he does that throughout an entire film, it's really bad. Don't see it. Don't support this film. Don't support filmmakers. Cameron, I also then saw, as we do every week, Loki episode 4.
Oh boy! And did things kick off? This is your warning for the Loki spoils, I believe. I think I'm
Whoop, whoop,
just
whoop. Yeah.
whoop whoop whoop.
Loki episode 4. Secrets come to light as Loki and Sylvie are recaptured by the TVA. It was a really good episode this week. My favorite so
Really,
far.
really solid. Yeah, I don't know about my
I
favorite.
believe
No, well, meh. Yeah, yeah.
there's so many good points. There's so many good parts. It was. I think Loki is my favorite series they've done so far.
I'm still repping the WandaVision, I think.
Right?
I don't know against Falcon if it would win. I think it might win against Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think obviously there's a lot of weird stuff I'm not really feeling in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I guess yeah, my second favorite. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But I went through my rewatch as I always do, and I came up with these questions. So,
Hit me.
is Mobius dead?
No, he's not. He's in another pocket dimension like Loki.
He's not. But for a second, Jordi Steele's prediction was correct. That TVA
we
are
shouted.
bad, he's not good, and then he dies.
We shouted very loudly. I don't know. You were watching it by yourself, but there was a lot of no, fucking don't die.
Yeah.
Watching him because his little speech before he dies is quite cute. Like the whole
Yeah.
I want to go back to where
I want to be
go to where I was before. Yeah. Oh man, great reactor on Mawson.
On my jet ski. We almost got a wow this episode. You said how.
How?
You said how.
How?
How.
How?
How.
How?
But yeah, the wow is yet to come. Second question. There wasn't a lot of questions for me this week, so it's quite short. Where is Loki, and who are these other Lokis?
Loki if he was worthy. Loki if he wore really bad clothes. Loki as a child, and Loki as an alligator.
But their official titles are Boastful Loki.
Okay.
Classic Loki, which is Richard E. Grant, and Kid Loki. And then the other one didn't have a credit because obviously it was an alligator in CGI creation.
8311. The Earth 8311 is the official Earth of the Spider-Ham Avengers, sort of, that kind of the Scavengers area of the old animals. And Loki isn't, I can't remember what animal Loki is, but he's not a crocodile in that. So that's quite depressing.
I think this was an alligator.
Well, yeah, an alligator. Same difference.
A Loki gator.
A Loki gator. But it upsets me slightly that it might not be the MCU Spider-Ham coming. And that upsets me.
No, I don't think it's Spider-Ham. I think it's well, they keep sort of teasing Throg, but we'll see. We shall see.
I think Frog might be a genuine, like, even as a small Easter egg in Thor Love and Thunder, I think Frog might happen. Like,
yeah, if they're doing multiple Thors, then we'll definitely get Throg. But yes, so classic. Obviously, Kid Loki is a big sort of a character in the MCU currently. He's not called Kid Loki anymore, but when Loki reincarnated, I don't know if this is a second time after when he reincarnated as Lady Loki, or if it's just a different comic story and he relocated, but reincarnated. But recently he has been Kid Loki, which is a child Loki who decided to be good and uses gifts for good. And then he's obviously grown up. For a second, he was possessed by the original Loki and called Icol or Ecol. It's Loki backwards, very strange. But there's a lot of stuff, and a recent. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm so tired.
He also
There's
said MCU, which I assume means Marvel Comics Universe and not Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yeah. There's also been a there's also been a recent comics run called Loki, Agent of Asgard, which featured a character very similar to classic Loki, who was basically just an embodiment of evil Loki. So if this classic Loki, which Richard E. Grant is playing, is very evil, fun times ahead. Richard E. Grant, he laughed, he jumped for joy.
I threw my fists in the air.
I laughed, I cried, I cheered.
I punched the air.
Punched. Really, you enjoyed Rise of Skywalker? That's weird.
It's obviously most of the other ones.
Yeah, but yeah, where is Loki? Where are all these people?
In the battle realm, Jordi. Battle world. Within the battle world, Jordi.
It seems if it's not, it is a very, very close reference to Secret Wars. The Avengers Tower in the background looks like post-Avengers Tower because it has the what is it called? The Quinjet landing pad.
I'd imagine it'd be the most recent Avengers Tower model they had.
Yeah. So maybe it's in a world where Ultron won, or it could just be a sort of junk world where all the timelines that they prune sort of smoosh together.
That's the one. That's the one it is, Jordi. It's not an Ultron world. Everyone wants it to be fucking Ultron just as soon as they want it to be Mephisto. It's not fucking Ultron.
We are yet to see the President Loki, which we don't know if that is our Loki or just another. Are these Lokis going to take Loki to their leader, and then it's President Loki, and that's why he says, "What did you expect?" And then we're also,
I don't know.
We're also yet to see King Loki, who sits on the throne of Asgard.
But they've repressed the Vote Loki story. So they're obviously expecting that to be a big seller.
Right.
So whatever that's the Vote Loki kind of like comic that's based on, that Loki's based on, has been repressed into a new comic book thing. So don't know, but it's
ironically in the comic world, there was a Marvel Reborn was the big event, the most recent event in which Phil Coulson is running for president. So he has vote Phil Coulson.
I think it would be quite a good sort of full. They sort of, I know they didn't really set it up, but they did kind of, I guess, because they mentioned Phil at the beginning of the series. I think it'd be quite cool if he came back, like in some capacity, almost to fuck with Loki in a way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'd even bother doing that, but I just want something to confirm the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is dead, even though they already really have
Kevin
confirmed
Feige.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Even though Kevin Feige has explicitly said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't matter, I'd quite like someone to come in and tell the people during a movie or a TV series so that it canonically is dead. Maybe Phil Coulson stands up and goes, "I was never rebirthed in Tahiti," and then he sits back down again.
Yeah.
Anything like that, be happy with.
But in that comic event, I just want to say, Phil Coulson is the bad guy, and he rewrote this universe it's basically a universe where the Avengers never formed. So Tony Stark is still an arms dealer, Captain America is still frozen, all that. And then it's because Phil Coulson rewrote the universe with a cosmic cube granted to him by Mephisto.
No.
Mephisto confirmed.
No. It always comes back to Mephisto.
It always comes back to Mephisto. He's a devious bastard. But will we hear Loki's Assemble?
Possibly. Although he
Love
doesn't
it.
know that reference. So it doesn't
No,
entirely make sense for him to say that.
but I want it so bad. And then the final question: who created the TVA? Obviously, we saw the timekeepers. We know that they're now these weird Disneyland quality animatronics. Who's controlling them? Who created the timekeepers? Who created the TVA? What's going on?
Could it be a fuck with you thing and it ends up being Loki from the future or something like that? I just don't know if they could pull off adding a new villain, because I feel like it'd be quite a punch in the face if they go, hey, it's a new guy. Like this guy that's in the last 2 episodes is the big villain. You don't know him, we've not set him up at all. Here he is. I mean, that'd be such a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
But if it is a Loki from the future and it does a sort of like full circle thing, I don't know. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, there's 3 people who I think it could be, and you were very close with that one. So the first one is Kang, the Conqueror. Jonathan Major's going to make his debut in Ant-Man and the Quantumania, or is he? I just feel like being about time travel, this series is sort of the perfect stage for him to make his entrance. There's also a character in the comics who is the one that made the timekeepers in the comics, who aren't androids, they're actual like godlike beings, called He Who Remains, who is basically the first TVA agent who lives at the end of time, and he is basically there to sort of make sure time goes on and then it ends, and then I think he goes into the next timeline because everything resets sort of, so he's sort of just constantly going. The third person would be Loki, because they seem to be going after a lot of Lokis, based on now that we've seen that there are multiple Lokis in this, what could be a pruned junkyard, essentially. And if both the Lokis that we know are Lokis that weren't going to die prematurely, they weren't going to die at the hand of Thanos, possibly because Sylvie was going to grow up to be good. So who would not want Loki to be a good person?
Richard D. Grant, the bad Loki you just talked about.
Yeah, just a Loki that won and basically wants to be King Loki. Could that be the Loki that we see on the throne of Asgard?
How many Tom Hiddlestons do you think we'll see? Tom Hiddleston variations do you think we'll see in the
3.
next 2 episodes? I think so. 3. So
I
just
want
be
at
the 3.
least
King
3.
Loki, and
President Loki.
Vote Loki. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't. It's very exciting. I'm very excited.
It's a cool concept. It's such an interesting. It's one of the ones where we can talk about and not fully know where it's going. Whereas everyone seemed to think that WandaVision was sort of like set in stone. I guess we kind of, I don't know, we sort of like all called that. Whereas this is still all to play for, I guess.
This is all. Yeah, it's more a mystery of where's it going to go next, rather than this is what I think how it's going to end. Oh, it didn't end that way. Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't wait for next week's episode, which comes out on Wednesday, July 7th, the same day as Black Widow.
How exciting is that, though? It's like, oh, wait, it's so long for that, and it's all coming at once. And the same day as a Loki short on Disney Plus. I don't know if you saw the Simpsons Loki.
The Simpsons one, yeah. The Good, the Bart, and the Loki, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Black Widow's good. People seem to think it's really good. Also coming out on July 7th, another Disney Plus edition, Monsters at Work, is finally coming.
Wow.
The series
finally.
Sequel to Monsters, Inc.
That took its time.
Yeah.
It's here.
Billy Crystal and John Goodman return as Mike and Sully. Was it Gabriel Iglesias? Returns or doesn't return, makes his debut as Mike's nemesis, who is essentially just a blue Mike. So going back to like old Cartoon Network children's show. versions.
Not animated by Pixar, which is what we need to remember before we watch it.
Yeah.
Is the fact that it's not Pixar; it's another company they've licensed the name out to do this series. So it's not a Pixar series; it is simply a Monsters at Work series for Disney. It's not. Could be shit, and it looks like it. The reactions seem to be from
the Toy Story shorts aren't Pixar, are they? Those ones, the first Sky.
I don't know what they are. They're ABC, so I think they might be Pixar in some capacity. So possibly. But I know that the newest, well, no, because the newest one, the Bo Peep one, was definitely Pixar. Lamp Life was definitely Pixar. I'm not sure what the TV specials were. I think they might be Pixar. But I don't know.
Who knows? Well, that's it. What have you seen? Have you seen anything? You can tell us by commenting down below, leaving a review on podcast, or tweeting us at Four Eyes Giant, or at Ohio Films, or me at Real Jordi Steele, or Cameron. Where can they find you?
You can find me at CamzoOG on Twitter and Instagram, ohifilms.com, where we host all these podcasts and other reviews and whatnot. You'll see there. What else is there to plug? I do 35-minute movies, which is transitioning into something else. Fuck knows what it is yet. We're not decided, but the last episode of 35-minute movies should be up within the coming week, I think, if I can find time to do that. Right. We've done Fast and Furious. We're now going to rank our personal top 5 Vin Diesel movies, and we're there, and it's quite exciting. I can't believe we did that. I've watched every single Vin Diesel movie ever made, which is quite an achievement.
Do you know? You don't know what you're going on next?
No, happy to take suggestions. If you got them, please tweet me. Because we're kind of stuck. We don't know for sure.
Are you going to take a break?
I think we'll take a wee break, but we'll come back with something soon, hopefully.
Fantastic. Well,
yeah.
I hope you have a lovely week. Bye.
Bye.